All right, you should have this sheet in front of you here, because today we're going to talk about weather, and we're going to be able to predict weather conditions and patterns based on some data that we've chosen. But, ladies in the back, in talking about weather and climate, we first have to define it. Now, we've talked about different types of weather. We talked about storms, we talked about what cause storms, we talked about what cause weather, we talked about all of these types of things. So let me ask you this. When you hear the word weather, raise your hand and tell me what you think of when you hear the word weather. Rain, you said, storm, temperature, clouds, precipitation, snow. All of those things that you've given me are descriptive words of weather, right? Now, think a little bit deeper. What would a definition of weather be? Think first. Think. You give me descriptive. Now I want you to define weather. You're up.
What is happening outside?
What is happening outside? That's good. That's still descriptive. I just want a definition is very general where everything else can fit in there. She says what's happening outside. What's happening outside when? During the day, during the week. So is weather a long-term thing or a short-term thing? When I say long-term, I mean like yearly, annually, or short-term, daily. Short-term. Because if I was traveling to visit you, and let's say I'm calling you today and I'll be in your area tomorrow, what's the weather? Are you going to tell me your annual overall weather for the year? What are you going to tell me? For the day. So is weather short term or long term? Short term. Weather is what's happening now. And now meaning today, tomorrow, for the week. Not now meaning for our entire area for the year. Adam, you need to be writing. This is short term. Very specific to our here and our right now. So, for example, today is what? Sunny. For weather, you're today is sunny. Now maybe you like it when it's snowy or rainy or cloudy, and you can put that. But whatever the weather is, you're talking about when someone says, what's the weather? You're going to tell them what's happening now, right? Any questions? All right, so in that case, climate is a little bit more difficult to define. How would we define climate now that we've kind of looked at weather? How hot or cold in certain places? Today? Daily? So you give me a weekly forecast?
No.
Overall average. Very good. This is the overall average. Overall average weather. So this is not daily. This is not something that happens that when someone says, what's your climate? You're going to tell them, today is cold, right? This is overall average. For instance, let's say if someone asks you, are you an A or B student in science? And you say, well, you're going to tell them determine using what? Let's say you got, on one assignment, you got a 90, you got 97, you got 90, not this class, a 70, 20. All right, so let's say you say, okay, one assignment I got 90, I got 92, I got 97, I got 98, I got 99, I got a 90, I got 91, that one time I got a 60, I got a 97, 98, 99. Are you going to tell them you're an F student because of that 160? No, you're overall what? AB student. Because you got all those 90s, you're AB student. That 160 does not determine your overall average. So, just this Friday here, we were in our 30s. Last Friday. Remember, it was cold and rainy. We were in our 30s. If someone says, what's our climate climate. So our climate is not determined by a one day, it's determined by our overall weather. Okay, yes,
So what is this? We consider long term?
this is long term, very good. Questions? Okay, so now we're going to do a little experiment where we're going to figure out our climate using our daily weather. So let's take a look down here. Our key, in a moment you're going to get a bag, which is going to have some things with some colors in it. You as your group, each individual group, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups here. Your group is a region. You're an area around the world. So identify yourself with being an area around the world. And we know different areas around the world have different what? Climates. So you are a different area around the world, and you're going to be able to show your weather and then predict your climate. Your bag has items that represent your daily weather. You're going to record your daily weather to predict the climate for your area. Now, our key up here. If you take a red item out of the bag, your daily weather, your weather for that day is what? Good, hot and humid. If you take an orange item out of the bag, your weather for that day is sunny. If you take a yellow item out of that bag, purple. Yeah, pay attention. Purple is for getting snowy and cold. Green. Very good. All right. Our items. Now you have to listen. Your bag is a bag of Skittles. Now, I'm going to put one bag on each table, each region. Do not open them. Just leave them there so I can give you your instructions. All right. So what we're going to do, everyone will get a chance to get the weather for the day. Right now, one person in the group holds the bag. Everyone will get a chance. Everyone will actually get 2 chances to get the weather. Before we do that, on the bottom of your, on your chart, add an 8th day. Just add an 8th day. We have 7 days, add an 8th day. This allows everyone to get 2 weather days. The reason why I did 7 for the week, but we're going to go ahead and add an 8th day, all right? Okay, so the way that we're going to do it is the person who is holding the bag right now. You see how the bag has some ridges? Okay, if you're watching this online, you are going to use the information that I'm putting up on the board. All right, so you're going to rip off the corner and the corner only, which is big enough to get out at least 1 Skittle. So carefully just rip the corner. Don't rip it open like they all belong to you, because you're not pouring them out. We need to be very sanitary, where the only person that's touching the Skittle is the person that's eating the Skittle. I did not tell you to take one out. Okay. Hold the wrapper, put it on your paper, because you'll be responsible for throwing that out. If I see any garbage, you will never get a treat from me. All right. Each person that's getting the weather, if you see that your hole is big enough, you're going to just squeeze, don't do it yet, but you're going to be squeezing out the Skittles onto your paper so that you're the only one touching it. You're not touching any other ones. Don't get your fingers in there to try to get it and touch all the other ones. You want to be as sanitary as we can, okay? So, right now, that one person, go ahead and squeeze out your 1 Skittle. Show your group the color. The entire group record the color and record your weather for the day. You need to look right now at your group here, sir. And I'm going to take mine up here. Mine is green. If you are the person that did the weather for that day, you can go ahead and eat your Skittle. And then pass the bag to the next person. Yeah, everyone should record the first day. Everyone in your group record the first day, but the person who got the Skittle out can eat it. Pass the bag to the second person, whether it be across from you or next to you. I'm sorry? Everyone at the table write the color. Second person, go ahead and squeeze out your second Skittle. This is day 2. Show your entire group the color. Your entire group record the color and the weather for that day. I got green. Remember, if you're watching this online, you need to be calculating my data. Don't write what I write. I have my own bag. I'm my own region. You write what your group. I don't understand what's so difficult. Whatever color came out of the bag at your table is what you write. Write the color and the weather. That's what this chart. No, what color represents that weather, Joshua? So if you guys got out, what was your first color, Joshua? Joshua, what was your first color? Hussein, be quiet for a second. What was your first color? Red. So what was your weather for that day? That's what you're doing. And then you go to day 2 and you do the next color. Is everyone with me? Is that understandable? Yes. Katara. Go to day 3. Day 3 person squeeze out 1 Skittle. Olivia. Dinner has been a lot for you. Yeah. We should now be on day 4. That means this is the last person. At this point, everyone will get a turn. Unless you have 3 people, then now we are on, you have another person taking a second turn. Yes, and you do day 4 now. I've already done day 3. I told you to pass it to your next person and do day 3. What? Pass it to another person again. Stop right here at day 4. Everyone stop at day 4. Because some people are getting lost in the instructions and it's not that difficult. All you're doing is passing the bag around. If you have 3 people, then now you just keep passing it to the next person so everyone gets a chance. Right now, at day 4, if you have 4 people, everyone should have gotten a chance to pull out the weather, correct? If you have 3 people, at this point, somebody has had 2 chances, correct? All right, pass it to a person who has not had it again for a second time. Give them the bag. They will squeeze one out for day 5 and record the weather. When you're done doing that, pass it for day 6, day 7, and day 8. Okay, we'll sit there for 1 second. At this point, if you're finished, you will have extra Skittles in your bag. Put those in the middle of the table. Deciding if we get to keep those will be determined on how well you follow directions and let us get to the lesson. If we cannot get to the lesson, I have to keep telling you to be quiet and stop it and don't do that. I take the Skittles and I eat them all. Let's pay attention. All right. At this point, We are not, is everyone finished with all of their days? Okay, I'll give you a second to finish your days. Okay, at this point, we are now ready to predict our climate. So if we look at the bottom of our screen, or of our paper, remember, you need to be listening. Your prediction for your climate, remember climate is what? Overall average. Now let me ask you this. Do we, as young meteorologists right now, do we have enough data, enough overall weather to really predict the climate? No. But can we use an educated guess with the data that we have to get a pretty accurate, based on what we have, prediction of climate? Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but using our brains, which we all have, I think, and the information we have, we can predict the climate. The climates that we're looking at, there's 5 of them. Donovan, you looking up here. You have tropical, you have desert, marine west coast, humid continental, tundra, also known as polar. If you open your textbooks to page A127, you will see a page like this. No, myself, it's enough at the table. You got Cheryl. Cheryl with Milan. A127. All right, so on your A27, quiet, you have a page that looks like this. Notice it has the 5 climates. You have tropical wet, desert, marine west coast, humid continental, tundra, also known as polar. You right now are going to talk with your group. You're going to analyze your data that you have here under the weather. Analyze means you're going to make sense of it, correct? Interpret it. Use that to decide which one of these your climate is. Go ahead and do that now. It's a possibility that you could probably think maybe it's 1 or 2. Maybe you're thinking it could probably be 2 because remember we don't have enough information. We have some that maybe may fall into 2 categories. That's perfectly fine. You're making a good prediction. If we have more data, you can narrow it down even more. Take about another 1 minute to decide your climate. For the group in the back, tell me your overall weather. Like, what was the most weather that you all experienced back there? Which is what? No, tell me the weather. You had a lot of frigid, snowy, and cold. Okay, so what was your predicted climate? Humid continental? Humid continental says these regions have hot summers, cold winters, with what? Tundra. Tundra or polar, especially if you had, that's all you really had. Now, maybe, just maybe, it could be a possibility that it could be humid continental if we had more data. If we had a month and 2 months and it was continuously cold and frigid, then we could definitely say tundra. But if it changed up to where you had hot days over a long period of time, then it's possibly that they are getting weather for the winter months and then got weather for the summer months, correct? All right, this group over here, tell me your most. Rainy and snowy? Rainy and sunny? Okay, that was the most. So what would you say that your climate out of these five here would be? There is no Mediterranean over here. No, there's not. Marine. Marine West Coast, because you have summers and hot muggy, and you have these regions that mild temperatures, dry summers, wet winters are typically, okay, that's possible. Could we possibly, you said rainy and sunny? Could we possibly say tropical wet as well? Possibility, okay, well, I'm going to Joshua's group? The majority of the weather, huh? Warm and sunny, so what's your climate? What climate did you say? Did you guys have any rain? Did you guys have rainy days? How many? One? The possibility. Maybe we might even come to the humid continental a little. Donovan's group. No, weather, not the color. Weather. Donovan, look at me. What's your weather? Weather is day to day. We wrote that down. Donovan, look at me. What is your weather? Look at your paper. What is your weather? So what's your climate, Carlo? They mainly had hot. They mainly had hot. So therefore their climate would be, well, they just mainly had hot. Not that wet. Desert. Now maybe we're in a certain part of the time of the year where it's just hot. It's their summer. So it could probably be humid continental as well. The superior. Rain, mostly rainy, with sun or cold? With sun, so which one would it be? Marine West Coast probably, maybe even humid continental, maybe even tropical wet. Any of those supply belong to? A lot of hot and humid. So the rain and sunny? Okay. That will be perfect. Humid continental or tropical wet. Now let's look at mine. This is what I have. Majority what? Rain and cold. So with the rain and cold, looking at your book, what do you think that would be? Rainy cold? Maybe tundra. That rain could possibly be what? Ice. So definitely, you don't have one day in there, but mostly rainy and cold. I had a rainy, sunny day, still rainy and cold. Any questions? Okay, then right now I want you to put this sheet in front of you. Is climate change good for us? Keep your books open. Now, when we talk about that harsh thing that happens in our world, that is actually the reason why we are going to be 78 degrees today, but just Friday we were 30.
Yes.
What does that mean? What is that thing we talked about why our weather is so weird like this right now? Global warming. Because of stuff that's in the ozone. Who puts those things, Hussein, in the ozone? Hussein? Who puts those things in the ozone? Yeah, pay attention. Who puts the things in the ozone? We do. We, as people, put those things in the ozone. We meaning us, our family, our friends, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, everyone. Your teachers, we all put these things in the ozone. And putting those things in the ozone, we contribute to the weather And then the weather builds up, and overall weather determines our climate, and we contribute to climate change. So we're going to look at individually, how do these things affect us? When the climate changes, how does it affect us? We are very self-centered, and that's fine at sometimes. So we're going to look at how it is going to affect me in a good or a bad way. Then we have to open our mind a little bit more and say, how is it going to affect my community? It could be good or bad. And then we have to be a lot more open-minded, because it's not just us and our community in this world. It is our entire world, our ecosystem. What's an ecosystem? What's an ecosystem? This is fifth grade. Oh. There you go. This is your living habitat, the way that things live, the way of living, like our plants and our animals and our lakes and our ocean, and how we all depend on those things. You need to look at how is this weather or climate change going to affect our ecosystems. Now, looking back at page 127, what is our climate for North Carolina? Because this is where we are. When you find it, raise your hand. Okay. Marine West Coast. This is our climate, and you can see that because of here. Got it? We have summers that are hot and muggy. We have winters that are usually mild. Precipitation is fairly even throughout the year. Is that us? Yes, that's us. So on this sheet, you're going to write your climate being marine continental. Marine West Coast. Marine West Coast. Sorry. Got it so far? Okay. What do we know? Are you living in the North Carolina region right now? Is that your climate? Are you living in North Carolina right now? Is that your climate? Okay. We are now focusing on us as a people, where we live, and how it's going to affect us. We're no longer hypothetically speaking as far as where we are. Okay? And then we're going to look at scenarios if these things were to happen to us. How would it affect us as a person, us in a community, and us as part of an ecosystem? You have it. So let's look at the first one together. Let's think about it first. If in our Marine West Coast we had more rain or snow, how would that affect you as a person? Now we can be very selfish and self-centered and just think about you. Okay? We can have illnesses, no school. What else? Huh? The businesses will be closed. For instance, the other day when we had all that rain, the grocery store around the corner from me closed early and opened up late. I had no idea. I didn't eat anything until I was leaving to work and got my son off in the morning. I needed to stop there really quickly and get him something that he needed for his lunch. I go to the grocery store, it's only open at 6. Right now it's 6:40. I go to right in the store, and I'm waiting for that little thing to open, and reading is fundamental. There's a sign there that says we're closed until 7. I'm like, oh, and it was because of the weather. So that affected me majorly because I really, really needed to get in there. So businesses are closed. Anything else we can think of how it would affect us if we had more rain or more snow? Accidents. Yes, good. You can add that in there. And you don't need to add all of these. I'm just putting some. And illness has 2 L's. We can't. You're stuck in the house. You can get cabin fever. How many of you got cabin fever on those days when you're stuck in the house, you can't go nowhere, you don't have anything to do? Start to get aggravated and annoyed. People that you love the most, you realize you actually don't love them as much as you felt like you did when you didn't see them all day. Okay. All right. Now, how would that affect your community? Some of this might fall over into the community. For instance, This, I would actually put this in community, business closed, school closing. That can go in the community, even though that would affect you, but that can also be a community thing. What else? Recs, that could go in the community as well. How else would it affect your community?
Let's say things like, when it's the time when everybody, like, you know, when it's like wet snow, and nobody gets to do it, outdoors, everywhere, get money, get paid.
Okay, so, wages would decline. That's good. Anything else? How many of you, after the snow melts, you realize maybe some of the people in your neighborhood are damaged? Or rain, damaged. Yeah, maybe flooding.
Yeah.
If you had a summer patio set in your backyard after snow, what happens? That damages, it rusts or it gets all messed up. Grills, a grill rusted. Good. Losing power. If you lose power, your heat doesn't work. If you lose power, guess what else doesn't work? Your stove doesn't work. You can't charge your phone. All right. Your hot water may not work if you lose because your electric heater or your water heater. All right. Ecosystems. Yeah. Ecosystems. What can you do? Okay. So animal habitat destroyed. If we have fish who live in water that's normally in a marine west coast area and it's warm and we start to have lots and lots of snow, it's colder, they're gonna die. And then when we go to the grocery store to buy our shrimp and our cod and our tilapia and lobster and crab legs, what's going to happen? They're not going to be there, and the price is going to be higher because it's only a little bit. Do you understand how this all falls back to us and how all this changes? So what you're going to do right now in your group, you are going to discuss the rest of these on how it affects you. Let's not have an argument either. Have a debate. A debate means sometimes we may agree to disagree. Sometimes what you say, you need to make me understand that a little better. I may not understand, I may not agree, so I may not put that down. I may want to put what I put down. Or you made me understand in the way that I understand, so let me go ahead now and put that down and I agree. All right? So go through them all, affecting you, your community, and then your ecosystem. Make sure your name is on both papers. Any questions? Okay, get it. Hold on, we need to start working. This concludes this lesson.